Today on the show, it's my birthday. Well, hey there, and welcome to the birthday edition of Ask Brady. That was supposed to be like the Jamaican dance song.
I didn't quite catch
Jonas,
it.
play that sound effect now. It is my birthday. I am 26 years old today, April 6th. If you're watching this, you're listening to this, we publish this, it'll be April 7th. So my birthday will already be over. But
That's true.
you are listening to the joyous occasion that is my birthday right now. My wife got me this really sweet gift. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011.
My friends Justin and Mel just hand-delivered this birthday cake artisanal donut on a silver platter with 26, which is my age of time on this earth. There was like, what are the sparklers? Sparklers! This is still, though, not the best gift that I got today. I am notoriously bad to buy for because I have everything already and my life is perfect. So my wife knows this if you ask her, but she got me, you know, like the WWE championship belts?
Oh, yes, I know.
The WWE championship belts, you know, like the ones that go around your waist. So she got me one of those. It's not here yet because it's getting like handcrafted, custom made. She got like the most premium one that you could get from this like special custom WWE belt place. So it's a custom championship belt, but instead of like WWE stuff, it has Nucleus branding all over it. So it's got the Nucleus logo and the date that Nucleus is going live and the Pro Church Tools logo on it. It is the coolest thing ever. And I don't know when it's gonna get here, but maybe around the Nucleus launch. So I don't have it yet, so I can't show you, but it's sweet. So on this episode of the show, I will be treating myself with this donut, which I will consume throughout the course of answering questions. And anything else? We're getting close to the Nucleus launch.
It's true. It's really close.
It's like
2 weeks.
16 and yeah, it's like a little bit more than 2 weeks, like 17, 18 days or something. Super exciting. There are more than 5,000 churches on the launch list right now. More than 5,000 churches, which is insane. People are excited. We are working extremely hard because launches are insane. And I wrote 10,000 words in one day this week. One day, Tuesday, I wrote 10,000 words, put my headphones on, nobody bothered me. Then we recorded all 10,000 of those words on camera. So it was 40 minutes on camera. It's been insane. So things are great. Nucleus is great, exciting times, but we're here to answer questions from Pro Church Nation. So I'm gonna take the first bite of this donut. We will dive into the first question. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So the first question comes from Mark.
Mark says, so if you have a central hub that you direct all your next steps to, can you still have a physical place for next steps on Sunday morning? Sign-up tables, etc.? What could this physical place look like?
Mark is talking about the idea, something that we teach at Pro Church Tools called the Central Hub. And I've been teaching this idea for about 18 months inside of a course within Pro Church Academy called Church Communications 101. And the idea of the Central Hub is that instead of pointing your congregation to all of these different destinations where they can take a next step, the website, the lobby, the bulletin, an app, phone numbers, email addresses, talk to Pastor Sheila. Instead of all that stuff, just have one singular destination. And the best place to have this destination is to have it online, because that way it's accessible 24/7. The one downside of this is that what happens with people that are maybe less tech savvy? Or what happens when you want to send someone to the lobby on Sunday? Because that is a great next step. It is great for someone to fill something out and then say to them, hey, why don't you go to the lobby and sign up to be baptized? Like, that's definitely the best way to do things. Or not the best way, but it's a great way to do things. And so what we encourage people to do is not only have their Central Hub online on a website, but to have a physical representation as well. And the great thing about Nucleus is that you can set it up on a tablet and actually remove the navigation, and it looks exactly like an app. And with you can use on iPads, they have I don't know, it's like a child lock or I use it with my child all the time. But like if I press the home button on my iPhone here right now 3 times, 1, 2, 3, what it does is it'll enable, once I'm inside an app rather, so let's say I open up my MBA app. If I click the home button 3 times, guided access starts. And now, no matter what I do, I can't exit the app until I click 3 times and enter the special passcode. And so what you can do is you can remove the navigation on your nucleus, you can set it up on an iPad, and then you can create a kiosk in your lobby that runs on the exact same software as your central hub, because it's still nucleus, it's still your central hub. But now, let's say someone's less tech savvy, you can actually walk them through it. Not only will this allow them to, actually take the next step that you want, and that'll still be on the same software as everyone else, but you'll actually walk them through how to use it, and thus they're more likely now to use it the next time they want to take a next step on their own, because now they've used it once before. Also, you can send someone, like, if you have questions about being baptized, go to Central Connect, you can send them to the lobby, get their questions answered, talk to someone nice in person, and then still use that exact same software. And what's great about this is that because everyone is using the same platform, whether in person at your kiosk or outside of church on their own mobile kiosk, that being their phone, the same software is being used. So all the information that's being stored is in the exact same place. So whether someone signs up to be baptized on the phone at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday or at 12:30 p.m. right after church on a Sunday, all the info is in the same place for you as the church. So the staff and the leaders and the pastors, it's so easy for follow-up and for keeping track. And so highly encourage you to have both a physical and digital version of your central hub, but it's best if you use the exact same software. Nucleus makes it super easy to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like really good, because when I worked as a receptionist at a church, anytime they had like an event, they would have, it was a big church, so they would have like multiple sign-up tables.
Yep.
And I'd have to like go around and pick up all the sign-up sheets and then have to like type it all into like a spreadsheet and then have to call everyone and pass the information on by email. So having it all like go to one place is just so helpful.
That's amazing. I mean, that's exactly the problem that Nucleus fixes. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
All right. So the second question comes from Chris.
Chris says, would you say it's better to have your church's Facebook linked to Twitter, so your Facebook posts are automatically shared to Twitter, than to not have a Twitter presence at all? Or should we be looking solely for original content?
So on a previous episode of Ask Brady, I think it was last week, we talked about Twitter strategy for churches and how for most churches it's probably not a great fit. The question here is, okay, you're probably right that creating original content for Twitter isn't going to be the best way to invest my time as a church. What if I just took what we're already publishing on Facebook and then auto-publishing it to Twitter? Auto-publishing on social used to be a thing that made sense about 5 years ago. The reason for that is that we were living through this brand new time of social media. Like half of us were still on MySpace, and then Facebook was this thing, and then there was Twitter, and then Pinterest, and YouTube, and Instagram became a thing, and it was this gold rush basically of social media where it was when back in the day with the gold rush, it made sense to, look for gold in as many places as possible, because no one knew where it was. The more places you could be, the more likely it would be that you would stumble across some gold and hit it big. But as that kind of like the gold rush continued, people started, the gold is all here. The gold is all in California. The gold is all like in the Yukon, wherever it may be. And then people started going there specifically because the likelihood of them succeeding was more because other people had succeeded big. And as social media has continued to evolve over the last 5 years, we now know what the big platforms are. 7 out of 10 Americans are active on Facebook. 3 out of 10 are active on Twitter. So it just makes sense to invest where the time is and where the people are. Invest your time where the people are. And so when it comes to auto posting, I highly encourage you not to do it. You always want to post native content on social media, content that is native to each individual platform. If you're auto posting, it just doesn't really make any sense because you're not posting according to what Twitter wants you to do. Especially because what are the chances that your Facebook post is going to be less than 140 characters anyway? And then you're going to have that awkward thing where like you auto post and then there's an ellipse at the end, ... and then a link back to the Facebook post. It's like if I'm on Twitter and I'm following you and you're auto posting, I'm just going to unfollow you. I'm not even going to mute you. I'm going to do you the disservice of unfollowing you because I'm so mad that it's like, why are you on Twitter? You don't care about Twitter. Twitter's an afterthought. And if I'm on Twitter, I care about Twitter. You don't care about me, so I'm not going to follow you. It's as simple as that. Never auto post, always a bad idea.
Yeah, the other thing that I've noticed, because my college up until recently was auto-posting like from their Facebook to
Classic.
Twitter, the links don't always work. So like I would click the link and it'd be like, sorry, this post is gone. And you're like, what the heck?
And there's always that weird thing when you link out of Facebook, like you can click on it, you're like, please log into Facebook. And you're like, I'm not logged in right now. What if I'm on desktop? It's like, I just logged out. It's like, or if you click from the Twitter app, then the Facebook app needs to open. And it's like, Twitter's like, you sure you want to leave? Because we don't really want to send you to Facebook. So maybe you want to second guess. It's just a bad experience all around.
Yeah, so it's not the greatest. All right.
I need to eat this donut faster.
Yeah, you need to double time.
But I also want to enjoy it.
That's true. If you're gonna break your diet, might as well eat slowly. All right, question 3 comes from Tim.
Tim asks, hey Brady, we have 3 or 4 couples on staff at our church. When we do our Facebook Live sessions for church, should we do it from our personal pages or do we give the whole staff access to the church page and do it from there?
So when it comes to deciding which platform within a specific platform you're gonna go live from or post from, whether that be a personal account, a page, a group, what you want to do is ask yourself, okay, where do we have the most attention? Likely you're going to get the most attention on your actual Facebook page rather than your personal account. The other thing that's great about a Facebook page is that it's public for everyone if you have the privacy settings set the way they should be, whereas most profiles aren't set to be completely public. Like mine is, for instance, facebook.com/Brady Shearer, but most aren't. And so you go live from that and it gets shared, and maybe other people can't view it. I'm not entirely sure how the Facebook Live sharing works within that, but I would definitely recommend doing it from a page rather than doing it from a personal account. And if you already have more people on your personal account now, begin kind of the transition to the page. That's definitely what you want to do. The nice thing about the personal account is that you're probably going to get more engagement because it's from an actual person, so there is that to consider. Whereas if you go live from the page, like let's say First Baptist Church, the avatar is going to be your logo and it's not as personal, which means you might not get as many people watching. So that might mean it's worth experimenting. It might not be cut and dry. We talked about this in a previous episode of Ask Brady, is that as Facebook stories begin to get rolled out into actual Facebook pages rather than just personal profiles, we might change the Pro Church Tools avatar on Facebook to a headshot of me, because it already says Pro Church Tools with Brady Shearer. And if you're going through Facebook stories, and this applies to Facebook Live as well, and you see like person's face, brand, person's face, you're less likely to click on that brand. And so we want to change that so that now that might not be, it's probably not as easy for you to do at your church. First Baptist Church, and there's a picture of your pastor smiling, like that might seem a bit weird. And so it might be worth setting up an actual page for your pastor, or going within their personal account, doing some testing and figuring out those privacy settings to make sure everyone can see it. What you could do maybe is you could have your pastor go live and then immediately have your church share it, which might cover both, might be the best of both worlds. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that might be the best solution there.
Cool. All right. Final question comes from Danny.
Danny asks, when sharing about church events on Facebook, do you create a post with a graphic or video and share details, or do you create an actual Facebook event?
I'm actually not a huge fan of Facebook events. What I would much rather you do is have your own platform and point everyone to there. Even when we run our own Facebook ads, the way that we run Facebook ads, for instance, is our goal is to capture your email address. These are called Facebook lead ads or conversion ads, where basically the goal and what we're optimizing for and the entire purpose of the campaign is for you to give us your email address. And Facebook knew that this was a very popular ad optimization goal. And so what they did was they created their own Facebook lead ads, where Facebook will, rather than taking you from Facebook to my website and having you put your email in there, Facebook will take your email that's already connected to your account and give it to us that way. And the idea is, well, now they don't have to leave Facebook, and Facebook likes that. But I have never run an ad that way, because even though, ideally you'd be getting the same thing, what it doesn't allow us to do is follow up in the same ways. It doesn't allow us, when you say, hey, I want this free thing, for me to go, well, do you also want this paid thing? Because it's even better than the free thing. No pressure, but you might want it. And so it's a lot more limiting. And the same goes for Facebook events. Yeah, you're already having someone on Facebook, and so it might be a little easier. It might have a little less kind of barrier to entry, but you're gonna have so much less capability of following up afterwards. Like, for instance, let's say you're using Nucleus to have all of your next steps and event registration happen, which once you're using Nucleus, you should. So rather than using Facebook events for the upcoming, let's say, what's a timely event? Yep, volunteering. Let's say you're trying to get people to volunteer for Easter, and you have a Facebook event that is housing everyone who's volunteering for Easter. If you host that on Nucleus, what you'll be able to do is, once the integrations are built, integrate that with your email campaign and have an email sent out automatically to someone when they sign up. You could have it integrated with your church management system when those integrations are built out. Someone signs up to volunteer and it automatically integrates into your church management software. All of those integrations wouldn't be possible with Facebook events. Also, you wouldn't have all of the information stored in your database. It's all inside of Facebook. And I'm a big advocate of using your own stuff, the stuff that you own as much as possible, and then using the popular outlets where everybody already is to bridge the gap between where they are and where you want to take them. You can keep everything on Facebook, you can keep everything on Insta if you want, but the more you do that, the more you are tied into the will and goals of what Facebook wants. So if Facebook decides to change something, as they do, suddenly you are now tied to that and you must react accordingly. If you have everything on your platform, things change, well, they change because you changed them. So that's 100% your prerogative now. And so I would not use Facebook events. I would use Nucleus or something like that, your own set of forms, and have registrations happen that way. That way you're in control of the data, you're in control of the follow-up, you're in control of all the actual optimizations and the integrations, and you can trigger all of these additional things. Just much better. More control is better. Use that rather than Facebook events.
I guess the added benefit too is then you don't have to only advertise that on Facebook, right? So you could post on Instagram or Twitter or wherever, and then link it back, and all your registrations would end up in one place instead of it being let me check each platform.
Well, that's a great point. Let's say you're sending out an email to get volunteers for Easter, and then the email links to Facebook, and then people have to log into Facebook and then submit their information to Facebook, where the email could have just sent them already to your website, which would have no barriers of entry. They could just go straight to the form. Yeah. Same thing if you promote it on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or Snap or wherever you're doing that from. If you sent out a text, it could go directly to that. Having something happen within an app is so much more difficult. Let's say here's a big idea or a big problem. Let's say you are promoting this from stage on Sunday and you're saying, we're looking for volunteers. All you need to do is go to firstbaptist.life and sign up. Let's say that's the URL for your Nucleus. Mm-hmm. People are going to remember that. They probably go there all the time to take next steps. You say, go to First Baptist. That's the good thing. The bad thing would be go to facebook.com and log in and then find our event, which has a ridiculous URL that we can't share. So you could set up a redirect, but that's a hassle. But yeah, just go to facebook.com / First Baptist / 1U, F as in Foxtrot, B as in Bravo. That's not going to happen, right?
No.
And so really the only way a Facebook event works well is for people already on Facebook. Now, granted, there are a ton of people on Facebook, but we're talking about a holistic approach. Not only is it important to own that data and be in charge of all of the integrations and follow-up sequences and what you do with that data, but when it comes to the promotion side of things, I'm so glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. It's so much easier to promote a single URL. That's why we talk about the central hub. That's what we built Nucleus. Have a single URL central hub that everyone can access at all times rather than some ridiculous Facebook URL that is quite literally impossible to remember and then impossible to act upon.
Yep.
All right, that does it for the birthday edition of Ask Brady. 26 years old, 10 episodes in the bank. Treat yourself. Treat yourself is over. The light is off. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I highly encourage you to actually watch the video on YouTube, youtube.com/ProChurchTools, because it does have a lot of fun additional things in it. And we might even include some bloopers at the end because me eating this donuts and trying to talk caused quite the stir. So thanks for watching. If you want your question answered, you can always #AskBrady on Instagram and Twitter. Comment below, Facebook and YouTube, Ask Brady. And Jonas is looking at me as I play with this. He's like, please stop. This is going to hurt the microphone. Okay, so this was the to use a term from youth group, quite the gong show. But birthdays only come once a year. We'll be back our regular rhythm next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then. Don't put this in. This donut has birthday cake stuff on top and birthday cake stuff on the inside. If my trainer Mike is watching this, Mike, this donut was hand delivered to me on a silver platter. Like, it's not my fault. I can't not eat it. What a jerk move that would be.
I love that in my ears right now. No. No. Oh, God.
Little bits of birthday cake just shooting around.
Have access to the church page and do it from there.
Oh, this is so good.
No. No. Oh, no.
The donut's gone. Yay!
Ow! That hurt.